What is going on, guys? This is Michael Williams from Cartoon Universe, and normally we do a secrets and analysis video for Star vs. the Force of Evil for each episode, kind of breaking down the little hints and Easter eggs and foreshadowings. But this isn't one of those cases this time because this was not only super fillery but also pretty unsatisfying. I am joined today by Oscar Box of the Roundtable,
Hello.
and we're just gonna kind of talk about this episode pretty casually. There was like one tiny little thing that was said that was like kind of interesting that also kind of came up in the previous episode, but other than that, this episode didn't really offer much. So what are your initial thoughts, Fox?
I feel like with most episodes of Star, they have some kind of moral or lesson, but this episode lacked that. Like, I couldn't really get what the moral was. There was one, so that's what actually like made me consider. I think this is like the weakest episode series thus far, just because it lacks that moral or lesson that episodes usually have.
Yeah, I agree, and like also just the jokes didn't really hit that well. Like there was nothing that was super funny about this episode. There was nothing that was super adventurous either. Because like Star's had like fillery episodes before. I'm gonna call Star's stuff filler because I guess Steven Universe has more of an argument, but Star is like more so filler. Like even for Star, they're usually entertaining. You know, like what was it? The Goblin Dog was entertaining. Hungry Larry was entertaining. There was like a lot of entertaining episodes that didn't have anything to do with the main story. But I feel like this episode didn't really do anything for me on an emotional level like those episodes did.
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, with Goblin Dog, it was just kind of the same case, but this episode was just like one scene. Like it was all taking place in like Sensei's backyard.
Right.
And I guess Goblin Dog, it was like all like the line, but like that, I can't really explain it. Like that had some kind of twist to it. Where like there was really no twist here. Like the entire episode was kind of cut and dry.
Yeah, I like the moral. I don't know what is the moral. Like entertainers suck the joy out of people. Like I don't know what they're trying to tell us here.
I feel like the moral was like, because she was right in the end, but like maybe it was her approach to it. Like that's what made her kind of come across kind of a jerk. So maybe the moral has something to do with that, but it's kind of hard to like word what it is. Like I think I kind of get it, but at the same time I don't get it enough to like explain it.
Yeah, like don't ruin people's fun, I guess, which is like kind of a weird way to present that message if the fun they're having is literally sucking the joy out of their life. So I don't know what that means, and I guess this means we're at the end. He breaks out of the trunk, so I'm assuming we're probably going to see Preston Changeo again in the future, maybe. And if we don't, then there was like literally nothing of like super duper substance to this episode, and it's really disappointing because Weird Al was voicing Preston Changeo, which is sad because I love Weird Al.
Yeah, usually when he guest stars in shows, it's like a really like fun character, but I didn't really have that much fun with Preston Changeo at all. Like, he just seemed kind of like not even a hack, but like. And I wouldn't say con artist, he did perform actual magic, even though, well, his tricks were fake magic, but sucking the life out of people was real magic, so... it's just really hard to explain it. Like, I don't know what they're going for in this episode at any end of the spectrum.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was definitely, like I said, I think this is probably the worst episode so far. I think we both agree with that. Because there just wasn't anything, like, that interesting about it. There was one minor thing that was said that kind of made me go, huh, was when Marco was talking to Star about Earth magic and how it's entertaining, and the whole point of the entertainment is that everyone knows it's not real, and people pretend that it's real, like love. So I'm interested to see like if we're already kind of seeing the disconnect between Marco and Jackie, because in the last episode he seemed very disconnected with the discussion when he was on the phone with Jackie. He was more focused on what Star was doing, which I guess can be technically interpreted as Star as being weird. But the fact that there was that and also that sentence, like back to back, and technically what is the same episode, I just found that very interesting.
Yeah, and did you see the live stream yesterday, like the live Marco stream?
No, I didn't.
He actually said that him and Jackie aren't putting a label on things, and even though that was live stream, I'm still going to consider that like soft canon. Since I guess that was like setting up for future episodes. So maybe he's not sure what he wants of Jackie yet. Maybe he thought he wanted a relationship, but he's not sure now that he is close to it. But another thing with like when you said that thing about the real magic being or fake magic like love
Right.
is he said that right after the joy was sucked out of him, so maybe that was just like a quick side effect, or that's actually how he actually feels. But the show also likes having like kind of like dark humor, like blunt humor. So I don't know, it's just a joke, but it was really interesting, especially since they wrote this at a time where a lot of like fans would be invested in the Jarko versus Starco thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, besides that, I really didn't get much out of this episode. Although I did, the only like thing that made me laugh was when Star told Crystal Change, "Oh, I think you broke not Ferguson. What's the kid's name?
I can't remember either. Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy. Yes. Oh my god. No, yeah. The only time in this episode I really laughed was when Star told Presto, "I think you broke Jeremy." Then like it cuts to Jeremy like crying in the yard. But besides that, like all the others were like weaker than usual, which is sad because the show usually has pretty like sly humor.
Yeah. Like I agree. Like I said, even the other unimportant episodes, I still find them funny. The only other episode I really didn't enjoy was the bike one. But even that like had some sense of adventure, whereas this didn't really have a sense of adventure. It was just weird and off-putting and just confusing, and like it just kind of fell flat at the end.
It felt like a 5-minute segment stretched out to 12 minutes because it's like you're introduced to Presto Changeo like almost immediately, and you know something's up with him. Then you find out he's like a soul sucker or a joy sucker, and then Star's like, well, don't suck any more joy out of people, or else I'm gonna expose you or like fight you or something. And then he does it anyways, and then she fights him, and then the episode just kind of ends after everyone gets mad at her.
Yeah. It was really weird. Really weird. I have nothing else to really add. There's really nothing to analyze besides that one sentence, really. Do you have any like final thoughts?
I mean, the only thing I can see Presto playing a role in is I initially thought like he would have a role in the magical glitch that's going on, but even now I'm not sure because if he's just sucking the joy out of people.
Yeah.
So he did disappear at the end. I don't know if he's going to come back in future episodes, and like it's really hard, like because a lot of people call, you know, Steven Universe, Star Wars vs. Evil, like shows with ongoing story arcs, like filler. But like when you think of it, like they're still American cartoons, and like if you think of like I want to say, just like Billy and Mandy or like any other cartoon, like they have characters introduced and they come back later. So it makes you hesitant to like write off like this episode as filler, but at the same time, like when it doesn't really advance anything or doesn't really have anything of substance, what else are you going to call it?
Yeah, it's a tough call, and I think it is possible that it comes back, especially given the ending and the fact that Weird Al does already work. You know, he's working on Milo Murphy's Law, so he's probably in the same studio. So there's no reason he couldn't like join for a guest appearance again. It's not like a Nicki Minaj Sugalite situation or anything. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'll withhold judgment as whether this is 100% filler or not. But yeah.
Something I found interesting was that Jana and Starfan 13 were at the party, but like, how would they know Sensei? Was it just like an open invite? Like,
I didn't even notice that.
That's a minor detail, but it actually did like kind of bug me because I was like, well, they never interacted before.
That's a pretty good point. I mean, I don't know if I actually have no idea. I guess it's an open invite. I don't know. Whatever. They needed some familiar characters in the back, I guess.
Yeah, and I do wonder how they're going to treat the whole Jackie and Mark situation, since we do know like they're not putting a label on it yet, and that makes the episode Just Friends a little bit more interesting because the synopsis is like Star tries to make Jackie not feel like a third wheel. Yeah. So I guess Marco really will be caught in the middle.
So where was this live stream?
On the Disney XD, I think it was both on Facebook and YouTube.
Okay, so was it like animated, or like was it just the voice actor just answering random questions?
They did it before with like Starcan 13, but this one was like a lot better. They used this program in Adobe that it's like when Adam MacArthur, Marco's voice actor, like opens his mouth, like the Marco animation will like talk or like his mouth. That's
pretty cool.
Yeah, so they did that, and he shared things like his secret nacho recipe, just like really like minuscule things. But like I think the biggest thing that came out of that was the Jackie and Marco's statement that they're like they're not officially a couple yet. Like they're not putting a label on anything.
Yeah, that's interesting, and I like how they're kind of the way that the writers are kind of squeezing it in to the point where it's like it's still up to interpretation as to whether this is a big deal or not. Because in the first episode, you could chalk it up to just Marco being distracted, and then this one you could chalk it up to him having the joy sucked out of him, or just as a joke for the audience. So I guess we'll see. I think it's fair to say that Marco and Star will end up.
I feel like the like where this episode is placed kind of ruins the pacing of the show, because yesterday was Raid the Cave, and tomorrow's episode is Baby, where Star's fairy godmother comes to like check up on her magical training and everything.
Yeah,
and it's just really weird to have like a nonsensical episode that's like no overbearing to that in between.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done that if it wasn't so drastic. Like, it could have been, like, semi-important. But, like, I kind of figured this would be the case, considering, like, the ending of last episode. It didn't leave much for, like, anything that was immediate, because Star had already tried to get Glossaric, whatever. That's what I was curious about initially when we were on the mid-season break, as to, like, how they would just jump into it. But they really did just jump into it, but then they just kind of left it hanging at the end so it could happen whenever. So, yeah, I kind of expected it, but I didn't expect it to be this drastic.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on.
Yep, thanks for coming on. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure, if you're not already subscribed to the Roundtable, leave a link at the end of the video and the description. We may or may not do more secrets analysis for every single video. We'll figure it out. We'll find a play it by ear at this point, because who knows what type of episodes we're going to get. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Peace.